everybody, Chris Parsons here. Welcome to the Chris Parsons Project, Meet the Parents Edition. Today I interview my parents, and I thought it was important to interview my parents because I'm running for City Council for Minneapolis out of Ward 10, and I want Ward 10 voters to get to know me, and in order to know me, you should probably meet the people that know me the best, my parents. So, this interview was funny. It was sometimes a little sad, but it was very enlightening. And I came away just, feeling like it was such a worthwhile effort. And I hope that you enjoy it. So, welcome again, Chris Parsons Project, Meet the Parents Edition. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast, the official podcast of the Chris Parsons for Ward 10. This is the Meet the Parents edition. I have my parents here with me, Kathy and John Parsons.
Hey.
Say hi.
Hi.
They're the reason why we're here. All right. Well, ladies first. So anyway, I'm here to today to just interview you guys. I figure that running for city council and getting people to vote for you, it's kind of like a relationship, and an important part of any relationship is meeting the parents. Hence, meet the parents. So, Ward 10, buckle your seatbelts. You're in for quite a ride. So, all right, Kathy.
Yes.
Tell us briefly about yourself.
Okay. I'm Kathy Parsons. I grew up in Albert Lee, Minnesota, and currently living here now to take care of my elderly mother and Chris's grandma. And I'm retired. I used to work as a property manager for ABM Janitorial. Before that, I worked for them as a union employee.
And what local was that?
26,
Okay.
563. I forget. One of them is your dad.
Dad was 563.
No, I was 563.
Okay, then I was 26 service employees.
Yeah.
I worked for them for many, many, many years.
Okay.
And I retired a couple years ago.
All right. Dad, tell us briefly about yourself.
Yeah, I'm originally from Sheridan, Wyoming. Went to school in Iowa and moved up here sometime in the early 70s. I was working construction down south. I came up here, joined 563, was a member, Labor Local 563, was a member there for 30 years. Been retired about 15 years, drawing Social Security and working in a liquor store now.
And you got a pension too from that union job.
I got two. I got two pensions.
All right.
Construction and Social Security.
Excellent.
Plus my liquor store money.
Uh-huh. All right. So I was born in 1974. We lived in Keokuk, Iowa. What was life like in Keokuk, Iowa?
It was hot in Keokuk, Iowa. It was fun in Keokuk, Iowa, because we were young. But eventually, your dad couldn't get a job there anymore. So he moved up here in 1977, in Minneapolis in 1977.
Yeah. Dad, what do you got to say about that? What was life like in Keokuk in 74?
You just said it. But no, I was working a construction job. That came to the end. I had 30 days to get a withdrawal card and land somewhere else in the United States. Your Aunt Gloria was the medical examiner up here. So I transferred to the union up here.
Interesting. So you got a transfer and up to Minneapolis, and my Aunt Gloria was living here, working here, and yes. Gave Minneapolis the thumbs up. What did you think about Minneapolis before you moved here?
I had always wanted to live in Minneapolis because I was tired of, I grew up in a small town here in Albert Lee. So, no, I was more than happy to come up here. It was time.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Dad? What'd you think about Minneapolis before you moved up here?
Well, let's just say I could be a second class citizen anywhere in the world. I didn't have to be one in Kilcook, Iowa.
Good answer. That's a good one. All right. So, so you moved to Minneapolis in '77. Mom, when you got up here, you're in your mid 20s. What did you do for work?
Um, I worked, the first full-time job I had up here was working in a nursing home as a nursing assistant. And I did that. It was close to where we lived. And I did that. And then eventually I went to work for Cream of Wheat because the pay was much, much better. And that was a union position. And that was about it. I didn't have any trouble finding work. And I don't believe your dad did either.
Dad, was there a lot of work at the time that you came up here?
Well, I don't know. I think they were talking about the Metrodome, or I don't know when they built that. There was supposed to be something big going on up here. Supposed to employ thousands of people, which was bullshit. But the union guy kept me busy till we had a friend that was actually connected to Borson, where I spent all my time. I met him, got on with Borson, and then spent my rest of my 30 years with them. Never missed a check.
And to follow up with you, Dad, you're working at Borson, pay decent, work rewarding. What was it like?
Come on.
What?
You got what you needed. you and your friends would come by and eat 6 pork chops a piece. Yeah, it was decent.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. What were your coworkers like? Were they? Was it rewarding? You know, did you have fun?
At times, but I basically worked with a bunch of racist guys out of Wisconsin. It was sometimes I had to keep my mouth shut or something. I, I spent my time in the barrel. Let's just say that, because I had a family. I did what I had to do. So was it always enjoyable? No. Spent my time in the barrel.
Yep. Yep. I hear that.
You
It's,
understand what I'm saying?
and I understand. I mean, it's, um, me coming up in a different time, but I know the feeling, but not to the extent that you, um, had to know the feeling. So they thank you for doing your time in the barrel. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mom,
I wish I could say the pleasure was all mine.
Mom, you so you worked at Cream of Wheat. You mentioned that you worked as a cleaner, and then you went up into management. You know, working in Minneapolis, coming up, through your company. Was it rewarding work when you look back on it?
I think I worked about 6 years for Cream of Wheat before I got laid off. I think they sold the company and moved. It was Nabisco then. But no, I was young. I enjoyed working with the other people who were my age or older, and they had great health insurance. Same with your dad. It was great health insurance. I don't even remember hardly paying any premiums, and they paid for everything. It's not like that now, but it was one of the best parts of working for union companies.
We when we lived in Minneapolis, we spent most of our time living there at 520 2nd Avenue Southeast.
Yes.
Um, that in the Marcy Holmes neighborhood. And what did you like about living there? What made you decide to move there? What drew you into Minneapolis and 520 Second Avenue Southeast, or at least that neighborhood?
Well, Dad liked the area. I didn't know the area, of course, but he knew the area from your aunt, his sister. So it was a very safe, quiet neighborhood there. A lot of families. Um, there's a lot of student housing there, and I remember when we got our apartment, 2 bedroom. It was small, but it was one of the last ones there. So we felt lucky, and we stayed there for many years, and we were caretakers there for many years too.
Do you remember what the rent was in
Oh, it
1978?
it it
In a
was
ballpark?
it was a lot. I'm thinking it was at
425.
least it was at least $500-600, because it was by the university or
Hmm.
several blocks from the university. So it was pricey.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we became caretakers. Well, they asked us, so we did. And then of course after that we moved to the Como neighborhood, which was another great neighborhood, very safe. No, I enjoyed living in Minneapolis a great deal.
So $500 or $600 a month, and how much do you think you were pulling in after tax? What were you making an hour? Do you remember, or roughly 1978?
Um, I was making for cream of wheat, I was making $10 an hour, which was double what I was making anywhere else.
Oh, nice.
So, and that was considered very good pay then.
Hmm. Yeah. How about you, Dad?
I don't really remember. I would probably say, what do you think, Mom? 20, over 20 at that time?
It's possible, probably, it could have even been 50. I mean, it was a lot more than I was making.
Hmm.
And I was making good money considerably, back for that time.
Let's move into like current events. Pandemic. Um, Obviously it's been a tough 2020. It's been a tough 2021 so far. Um, how has the pandemic affected your life, Mom?
At first, it really didn't affect my life at all. I moved and then everything started to shut down and everything, but I was fine. But the longer it's going, um, of course, I worry about grandma had a shot today.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And now I'm beginning to wonder if when I will be able to get a shot. And I have to be tested. I have to be tested for COVID once a week so I can go see grandma.
Hmm.
So it's getting to be more complicated all the time. But but at first, I didn't really think that much of it, to tell you the truth. But then I think our family's been pretty lucky, at least so far. So, and I don't really know anyone that has passed away from it.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, and then of course, being retired, I didn't have to worry about my job and not being able to go to my job. So, that, that smoothed it a little bit, but I felt really sorry for people who couldn't go to work.
Yeah.
And then they don't have enough food to eat and everything.
Dad, how about you?
Well, I've been around since Eisenhower. And from Eisenhower to Bush, I mean, to Biden, my world doesn't change from whenever to whenever, you know. I wear a mask at work, you know. I don't know. I was probably lucky that I have this job where I have my finances like they are, that I'm not depending on a job, because with my two pensions check, and then this other job is more like pocket money. So I'm not really, my finances are set. I'm not a rich man, but I got enough. And so my world hadn't changed. I mean, it didn't matter when Obama got in, my world didn't change. I put my pants on one leg at a time. And when Trump got in, one leg at a time. All this shit that has happened during his presidency hasn't affected me at all. To tell you the truth. Sorry.
Well, maybe not financially, but I mean, it's got to make your blood boil, a little bit.
Well, no, because the thing is, Trump was a symptom. He's not the cause. He was saying everything other people wanted to say, but then that wanted to hide behind it. And you would notice now, since he's gone, you never hear anything about those protesters. They went back to hiding and talk and whisper.
I assume that you saw the George Floyd video. The first time you saw it, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel disgusted, and it made me feel afraid. I think a lot of people felt that way. Um, I'm I'm not. I've never had a problem with race. Obviously, we've grown up in a mixed family. Um, when I was younger, I was not. I was taught by my parents that, I mean, they weren't welcoming of all the races and everything like that, but I never followed that. I went to high school, it was Martin Luther King and everything like that, and I've never felt the same way my parents felt. They got better over the years, but no, I went totally against their old fashioned beliefs is what I called them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dad?
It was a tragedy and shouldn't have happened. Being from descendants from Missouri, where we were hung from trees like strange fruit, I don't know what to say, Chris. It was a tragedy. It shouldn't have happened. But having people, my family being lynched, being a small child down in Missouri, and have the night riders come by Uncle Eddie's place. I don't know what to say about it, Chris. There's a tragedy. It shouldn't have happened.
Okay, we can leave it at that. So there you have it, the Chris Parsons Project Meet the Parents Edition. It was, like I said, it was enlightening for me. I hope it was for you. And that music means that's it for today. So please tune in next time and be well, everybody.